to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill.
Hey guys, so I'm zoomed in pretty closely, so hopefully y'all can see everything that I'm doing. Now I'm starting out with my brows already done, and to do my brows all I use is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in dark brown. This is literally all I use to do my brows. So yeah, my eyelids are already primed, and to do that I just use the MAC Studio Skin Concealer in NC45, and then I set it with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. So yeah, my eyes are already primed, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the makeup look. Now I honestly don't even know like what I'm about to do. I just know that I want to use my Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. The first shadow I'm going to go in is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, but it's not in the palette. This one is called Sienna, and it's like this really like burnt orange shadow. I'm going to use this as my transition shade. And this brush is just a brush from a Sienna Kashuk brush set. It's basically like a really fluffy blending brush. So I'm going to take that burnt orange shade and just place that slightly above my crease as my transition shade. So hopefully this video isn't like super long, because I've never done like a talk through video. I always do voiceovers, or I just do like get ready with me's. So hopefully this isn't too bad. So now that I have that shade like almost up to my brow bone, I'm gonna go in with the shade Real Gar. I'm assuming it's Real Gar, but it's just the like orangey shade right here in the palette. I'm gonna use that like in my crease just to make, you know, my crease area a little bit more warm. So yeah, I decided to use this palette today. It was between this or my peach palette from Too Faced. Because there's this really pretty shade in the peach palette I wanted to use on my lid, but I just decided to use the Modern Renaissance palette instead. So next I'm going to go on with the shade Red Ochre from the palette, which is the shade right here. I'm going to take that and I'm going to brush that directly in my crease, and the brush I'm using is the MAC 217 blending brush. This is one of my favorite blending brushes. I have like 5 of them. It's a really good brush. So I'm not sure if y'all can hear, like, I think it's a lawnmower outside. My apartment complex, I just moved into this apartment and like 2 months ago. Yeah, I just moved into this apartment like 2 months ago. So, and it's a fairly new apartment complex. Like, they're not even finished building all the apartments. And I have 2 roommates, and honestly, like, we can't wait to get out of here. Like, we look back at this apartment like, what were we thinking? Like, were we high when we, like, decided to live here? Like, don't get me wrong, like, the apartment complex looks really nice. Like, it looks really pretty and stuff. But like, it's just so, like, there's so many rules here, and we're not even like wow people, but there's so many rules here. Like, I'm talking like, if someone comes visits me more than like 7 days a month, like, we have to like turn them in like to the leasing office, and then they have to like, you know, run their background and run their credit. And you know, I totally get like the background part, because I mean, if someone's gonna be here, you know, you gotta look at safety for all the residents. But like, running their credit, like, you mean tell me that only people with good credit can visit me? Like, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Your first noise complaint is automatic eviction, and it's like, we're not loud or anything, but it's just like, we live around a bunch of like older people. Like, the lady made it pretty clear that when we moved in, we're like definitely not the norm around here, but like, it's just crazy. Okay, so to deepen up my crease further, I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow in Hot Chocolate. And it just looks like this. So I'm gonna take this and sweep that directly in my crease as well. And I'm gonna use the same 217 brush from MAC. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the darker shade from the palette, which is Cypress Umber, which is like this brown shade, like right here. I'm gonna go in with this and put that directly in my crease as well. And I'm using the same MAC 217 brush. But I'm gonna focus this color more so like on the outer V right here. I'm not gonna bring it all the way in. So now for my lid, I'm gonna take the shade. Shade Primavera, which is this really pretty shimmery shade right here. I'm gonna take this and place that all over my lid. I do want the outer corner of my eye to be a little bit more smoky, so I'm gonna go in with a black eyeshadow. This one is from, who is from? This is from Makeup Geek. So yeah, Makeup Geek Black Shadow in Corrupt. I'm gonna take this and put this in the outer V of my eye. So yeah, I think I'm pretty satisfied with this eye. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just add some eyeliner. I'm gonna use the Stila Stay All Day liquid eyeliner. It's super duper black and it's waterproof. So I'm just gonna use that. Alright, so I'm done with my wing. It definitely came out a little bolder than I wanted it to, but what can you do? So off camera, I'm gonna do like my other eye and then do my lashes. So they look like this. Now these lashes look really pretty. They were only like $6 at Walmart. So I hope they like look really pretty when I put them on. I'm really excited about them. So yeah, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I just gotta do my other eye and my lashes, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into foundation and stuff. So BRB. Alright, so I have my lashes on. I expected them honestly to be like a little bit more, but I mean, it's cool. So now I'm gonna go in and do my face. So before I put on my foundation, I'm gonna put some argan oil on my face. I really do like Josie Maran's argan oil. I have really dry skin, and sometimes when I start packing on like foundation and concealer and like start baking and stuff and bronzer, by the end of that I'm like really powdery looking. So I want to look a little dewy today. So I'm gonna use the Josie Maran argan oil light. See, I just rub it into my hands and then like press it onto my skin, so it's not like a lot of excess oil on my face. So now for primer, I'm going to use a new one. I haven't used this one before. This is from Urban Decay, and it is the Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. It says that it's smoothing, it has rose hip and argan oil, and it's pore perfecting. So I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I'm not going to put it all over my face. I'm kind of just going to put it in the center of the face right here, because this is where I have, like, you know, a little bit of a pore issue. It's not too bad, but they're definitely there. So I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna, ooh. Okay, so this is like really like thick. I don't know if it's gonna leave a cast on my skin or not, so let me just take some of it off. Okay. So I'm just gonna take a very little bit and just press it into my skin right here. So now I'm going to use this foundation right here. This is from Becca, and it is the Ultimate Coverage Complexion Cream. Now I did haul this foundation. If you haven't seen my Sephora haul, I'll put a link for it in the description box. So yeah, I actually really like this foundation. So I'm going to use like 1.5 pumps. And I'm going to start by applying it with my Sephora brush, and this one is the number 90 Featherweight Complexion brush. Now I really like this brush. Sometimes when I use it, I don't have to go over it like my foundation and blend it out with the beauty blender. Sometimes it's just like really smooth by itself. So yeah, I'm gonna use this brush right here. Alright, so I'm looking at myself put on the foundation, and in the camera it looks like it's like really red or like orange or something, but it's really not. It's actually a really nice color, and it blends really nicely on my skin. So yeah, this foundation is full coverage, so I don't really have to go in and like cover up my birthmark that's like around my eye, because the foundation covers it by itself. The foundation is for all skin types, and it just has like a natural finish. It's supposed to be like a full coverage foundation without the cake. Okay, so now that my foundation is on, I'm going to go ahead and add concealer to highlight my face. Now, the concealer I've been using is the Tarte Shape Tape. I really like this one. It does make my under eye look really smooth and even, and it's also a good amount of coverage. So I'm going to use this to highlight my face. Okay, so yeah, I really like the Tarte Shape Tape, how it looks. However, like once I blend everything out, it's really not bright enough for me. And then like if I go like a lighter one shade, that's just not a good shade for me. So I'm gonna go in with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and this one's in the shade Deep Tan. The Tarte Shape Tape is in the shade Deep. Oh yeah, and then the foundation. Let me just start over. So yeah, the foundation shade that I used was Mink, by the way. But this is the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Deep. And I really like this shade, but once I blend everything out, it's really not bright enough for me. So I'm going to go in with this concealer from Too Faced. And it's in the shade Deep Tan. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just apply it on top of the Tarte Shape Tape, because this one's a little brighter. So to blend all that out, I'm just going to use a damp beauty blender. Alright, so I'm not going to go in and like bake under my eye. I'm just going to set under my eye. And for that, I'm going to use the Black Opal Deluxe Finishing Powder. Alright, and the brush that I'm using is from Sephora. It is the number 73 Precision Blush Brush. I really like this one. I'm just going to use that to set under my eye. So now I'm going to go in and do a little bit of bronzing, and I'm going to use the Shea Moisture powder in Mandalay Dusk, and it just looks like this. So I'm going to use this blush from Nars. It's called like taos or something like that. I'm going to use this and apply it on my cheeks, and I'm going to use a beauty blender. I like to sometimes apply powder blushes using a beauty blender because it makes it look more skin-like. Sometimes if I use a brush, it just looks powdery. So I'm applying this blush using my beauty blender. Alright, so now that my blush is on, I'm going to add some highlighter. Now I'm just going to go ahead and use MAC Gold Deposit. This is probably like my favorite highlighter, and I'm gonna apply it using the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighting brush. Alright, so I just applied my highlighter. Now I'm going to just finish off my lower lash line. So I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite like eyeliners for the waterline, and this is the Rimmel Soft Coat Kajal eyeliner pencil. This looks like this. I'm gonna take that and put it in my waterline. And now I'm just gonna go in with that dark shade from the Modern Renaissance palette, that dark brown, and I'm gonna place that on my lower lashes or my lower lash line. I don't like using products that are discontinued, but I can tell y'all something that's like it. So Sephora used to have like these brown lip liners called Sheet Cocoa, and these things were bomb, but they discontinued them. So now you can use a liner from Urban Decay. It's called Conspiracy. That one's a pretty brown lip liner. Also Bittersweet from MAC. That's another one of my favorite lip liners. I was going to use that one, but I can't find it, so I have to use the one from Sephora. And this is the liquid lipstick from Sephora. It's number 39. It's called Frozen Strawberry. And I do want like a little gloss, and I want it to be a little lighter in the middle. So I'm going to go in with this lip gloss from Nars called Tiber. It's one of my favorite lip glosses. And now to finish off my face, I'm going to use my favorite MAC Fix Plus just to make my skin look really skin-like.